What's up, dude?
Dude, we're back.
Welcome back.
We're back.
This was a long fucking week, man.
It's horrible.
It was horrible.
It was not a good week.
It really wasn't.
All in all, a very shitty week.
Like it was like very stressful.
Yep.
On and off the proverbial work field.
Yep, both.
As they always say, like football, like, on and off the field.
On and off the in and out of the cage.
On and off the field week. A rough week.
It sucked.
Rough
birthdays I had to finance. Meaning my girlfriend needs presents, and my younger brother turned 18.
Oof.
Which is cool, Yeah. But
it's a lot going on.
It just sucks. I hate it.
Yeah.
This is why everyone's like, you're such a grouch. Why do birthdays and holidays make you so sad? I'm like, well, because I run out of fucking money. I'm trying to buy a PC. My tires are worn out. I have to buy new tires.
Oh,
I have to spend money on birthdays. In a couple months, it's fucking Christmas.
I know, because it just goes so fast, too. We just got through Christmas.
Every time I save money, it's like, oh, by the way.
Yeah,
ching!
That's actually just happened. Like, I was doing well, and then and some of it's my own thing, my own fault. I got a PS4 Pro.
Yeah.
I got a PS4 Pro, so I'm ready to go for Uncharted.
Yes.
But that was expensive.
Really?
I need to get tires, but I got a PS4 Pro instead. Actually, I don't need them. Like, the guy looked at me, he's like, you're actually pretty good. This one, these three are like a little bit worse. This one's perfect.
Oh, nice.
So he's like, but like these three, one of them is like leaking air. And
I went to get my oil changed, and they wouldn't even rotate them. They were like, we can't touch them due to liability issues. Like, if we rotate them and one of them kills you, it's our fault. So and I was like, oh, that makes sense. Yeah, so mine are pretty bad.
Wow, it's really bad when they're saying
I've been
that.
putting it off for a long time. I'm just really trying to, no pun intended, really trying to like ride them into the fucking ground. You know what I'm saying? But like,
yeah, I mean, and that's what you should do because they're so damn expensive. You don't have a choice. You have to ride them into the damn ground.
Anyways, video games.
Ayla's looking at you like
she's looking at me right in the soul. She's like, "Where you been, bitch?"
Yeah, exactly.
Where you been? We're almost done here. And, you just left. Who's this Geralt guy I've been hearing about? Huh?
Who's this Geralt guy I've been hearing about?
That's this Witcher nonsense I hear.
Yeah, man. So you've been playing. Like we talked a little bit about last week. You had kind of just started.
I think when we talked, I had finished kind of your tutorial Witcher hunt, or
that's right. That's what we were talking about.
A Witcher contract.
Yeah.
Like Witcher hunt. That doesn't sound right.
I mean, it's accurate.
It's accurate, right? I'm now like 11 hours into the game, so
wow,
I took all of that following Saturday pretty much and played it. A solid like 7 or 8 hours on top of what I had before puts me at around 10 or 11. Dude, having a blast. And what's great about that is like I'm not even out of the parts that I've seen already. And I'm having a blast.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like I've done everything I did again. You know, if that makes sense.
It's been almost 2 years.
It's been almost 2 years. I do
remember.
Long
enough.
I do remember the area. You know what I mean. Of course, not everything that's in it because there's so much in it. But there are certain parts that look familiar. But dude, I'm having a blast because I'm just like not giving a fuck about anything and like. That's a question mark. Whatever. I'll get to it eventually.
Exactly.
I feel like
exactly what I had to do
feel
to
like
get to
when
that
you're
game.
on your way to main quests. You're going to run into that shit anyway, right? I mean, you're tracking around the
You're
map.
absolutely going to run into things that you'll end up doing.
Yeah. I had that problem with Elder Scrolls a lot where I like to go into every single dungeon. What would happen is later on down the line, I would find a quest where you had to go back into that dungeon. And I was like, I've already been here. This is weird. So I was finding things I shouldn't have been finding yet.
Right.
Which is like with Witcher, I'm like, I'll just get to it when I get to it. And I'm only like level 5.
And if you didn't, and you end up you do 20 hours and you missed 7 question marks, you're never going to remember 100 hours later you missed 7 question marks. And it's not going to negatively impact your
I'm only
your game.
like level 5. It's surprising me how long it takes to level up. Maybe it's just me, but I didn't remember that. But I'm only at level 5 or 6. Having a blast, dude. I'm with Kira right now. Where I last left off, we were doing the quest where you kind of follow the Wild Hunt into that temple-ish area looking for
that's part
Ciri.
of the main quest.
Yeah. So I'm with Kira right now. I'm helping her find some lamp in the hopes that she has sex with me. That's kind of where I'm at.
That's like her personal side quest.
Yeah,
you help me, I help you.
I figured that's what it was because it gives you the option of like, no, I'm good.
Yeah,
but I was
she's
like,
looking for.
I like her.
I helped her. I didn't end up getting with her, but I still helped her out because they were friends.
I was like, yeah, I like her, and I'd hate to not help her and then find out that she died.
Right.
Because I didn't help. You know what I mean?
Right,
so I was like, no, I'll help her. Like I can fucking handle this. It's fine. Having a blast. I'm playing the game on the equivalent of hard, which is like it's called like Blood and Bones or something like that.
That's what I was planning on doing.
There's like something,
on
and then Sword and Story, and then Blood and Bones, and then like Euromaniac is like the last one. So I'm on like the hard mode.
That's what I was gonna do.
Yeah.
Well. How is it?
It's so much fun.
I played on normal.
It's so much fun. It forces you to be a little more meticulous as far as like when you meditate, you don't regenerate health anymore on hard, which is tricky. So what you do regenerate is potions. If you have the resources to make potions, like strong alcohol and that other stuff, I can't remember the name.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and when you meditate, it'll refill your potions, like Swallow, which is like your health potion, and then the other one, which I don't remember the name of, I apologize, which is like a stamina potion, which is pretty much what I'm banking on. I made the mistake the first time around of not looting that much, because it doesn't seem like that kind of game where you open all the boxes and
and there's always a bunch of shit.
There's always a bunch of shit. There's always water and food and bread and like stuff you really need.
And you eat like in the middle of a fight,
Oh yeah, middle of a fight, chicken leg in your mouth, like you have to. And I never did that. I'm doing that a lot now, and it's really helping me. I'm having a blast. I don't know why.
That,
and I know I keep saying it. I don't know how many times I said it during recording, but like it gives me such a supernatural type vibe. I love it so much, and it's such a lame reason to love the game. But like, you know, maybe I love supernatural because it gives me a Witcher vibe. You know what I mean? It's just that vibe in itself.
Sure.
Is very enjoyable to me.
Similar ideas.
The whole like line your doors with salt to keep ghosts out. Like I love that. You know, burn the bones.
And to know like the cool thing about supernatural is like a few seasons in, you'll see something like, that's a ghost. You know what I mean? Like they teach you, and then they bring those same elements back in.
And then
and it's the same thing with Witcher. Like as you're going, like you without Geralt even narrating that, you'll be like, oh, this might be Neckers.
You know, because
like you start to know like this looks like the work of drowners,
like
and you haven't even gotten any of it yet. Yeah.
Yeah, and like another thing we didn't even touch on. I finished it. The Bloody Baron quest line, which is very early on.
So good.
Dude, that's so crazy. Like not even 10 hours into the game, and okay, you meet a guy who fucking might have made his wife miscarry, and then her miscarried fetus comes back to life, trying to kill people, and you have to like find it, and you can either
then you learn the major spoilers, by the way, for the storyline.
Yeah. I mean, it's too
then you learn, you know, that he went out and buried it.
Yeah.
And it was buried without a name.
Yeah.
And I can't remember the name of the
botchling.
Yeah. And all this stuff, like all of the stuff in this game, all this is all like from Anders Edge, the actual original author of all this stuff.
Oh.
But these are all like, he wanted to tell fantasy tales, and he didn't want to go Lord of the Rings with orcs and like high fantasy. But he didn't want to go like overly political, like Game of Thrones either.
Oh, right.
And this is before Game of Thrones was out when he wrote the books. But what he did was he took old fairy tales, and instead of the fairy tale, his example was a classic fairy tale where a shoemaker kills a dragon instead of the knights.
Okay.
He's like, actually, he wanted to interpret that story into a fantasy world in realistic ways.
Oh, okay.
Well, no, the shoemaker accidentally did this, and the knights are just a bunch of fucking hard dicks who think they're measuring each other all the time.
Is it like a Brothers Grimm kind of thing? Like where they would take fairy tales and make them kind of dark?
Well, his idea was that these fairy tales are ridiculous, that these children and these kids pulling Excalibur out of the rocks and all this is crazy, and that those sort of things are made up over time as like classic mythology.
Yeah.
But he also knows that a lot of the time the knight in shining armor is a complete douchebag as well.
Yeah,
realistic.
It's like real life.
So he's like, in real life, or in this world, they probably would have been looking for someone to take care of these problems.
Yeah.
The knights are too busy fighting wars and measuring dicks.
And measuring dicks.
He actually said that,
other people's dicks, his dicks.
And then he's like, the shoemaker's uneducated twit who would get himself killed. They would probably go look for someone to take care of this problem permanently. And that's when he invented The Witcher. So like the botchling and all that stuff is all like,
dude, and like
classic
the art style too, and the way everything looks, like the botchling, the attention to detail is nuts. Like the umbilical cord like wrapped around his leg so he can kind of crawl around and be creepy as fuck.
He's
and
super creepy.
Oh my god!
But you feel it's tragic at the same time.
It's horrible. And then like, I don't know what would have happened if he tried to attack it. I didn't. I tried to turn it into something I don't remember the name of.
Yeah, I can't remember. It's
like
been several years.
A Huffalump or something.
Yeah, no, we did the same thing. That's what Geralt would do.
Yeah. I mean, wouldn't immediately try to kill, but maybe he would. You know, I don't.
No way.
And did that. Worked out so far, at least. You end up burying the fetus back under the homestead.
With a name.
He gives it a name. I think
Yeah.
his name's like Dea or something like that. Really cool. Really like crazy quest line to jump into in the beginning of the game. Like,
Yeah.
Like she miscarried. Like this is dark for a game. Oh, I'm gonna find the miscarried baby.
Which is now like a zombie spirit that's taking vengeance on the fact that it was treated so terribly.
And it like flies around and you.
So
can
let me
follow
ask you, because that storyline can end in like 8 different ways. So what happened?
How does it end in 8 different ways?
Dude, I've talked to a couple people who finished the game, and night and day for all of them.
Really?
Tim, I think it was Tim who told me that the Baron thanked him for his help, and paid him and helped him with gave him the info he needed.
Is there a way that the Baron kills
And
himself?
That's what happened in my game.
Really?
In my game,
No
he
way.
gave me the information that I needed.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "No, please leave me," and I helped him. I did. I put the botchling to sleep. I didn't kill the baby. I put the botchling to sleep. We cured the problem. But I don't remember. It's been 2 years since I played it. Like I've purposely been waiting. I'm waiting and waiting and waiting. I'm going to wait a little longer too.
Yeah.
Before I dive back into it. I don't remember. There was. I think there's a moment where you can tell him, to take your wife and daughter back and improve and better your life or something like that. Like you can tell him to like get them back together, or you can be like, no, like you should never touch them again. You all beat her almost to death and killed her baby. Like, what are you thinking? You can't. You're gonna do it again.
Yeah.
Like you can. I think that might be the difference. Did that happen for you? Were you able to?
I'm trying to remember exactly how it ended, and I'm having trouble because I'm so like deep into where I'm with Kira right now and things that were happening before that. But I'm pretty sure I went more the route of like I didn't make him feel terrible. He didn't kill himself in my game, but I was more like, you should leave them alone. Like they're fine where they are. Kind of do your own thing.
Yeah.
And then, he definitely didn't kill himself.
Wow.
It was kind of like, oh, okay, thank you. I wonder if I come back and he like.
No, it would.
No?
It was part. I mean, for me, it was part of the.
How crazy!
Because I do remember Geralt being like, "You can't. This is over. They're never going to talk to you again. You almost killed her, and this is your fault."
Totally.
Like he didn't do it in a way of. He didn't like. Geralt wasn't trying to be. He was just how Geralt is. He's just stating facts.
Yeah.
It's like they're not going to come back here, and they have no reason to. And then he's like, you're right. He was crying, and then he helped me out, whatever he needed, and then he went, and I left him, and then Geralt gets up in the morning. It's a cutscene. He gets up and he's going to leave, and that big tree in the middle of his court.
Yeah,
he hangs himself from that tree.
No way.
He's swinging in the breeze.
Wow,
that's how mine ended,
dude.
Yeah, and there's multiple different ways that can go. I've heard.
Is it like that with every quest line?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
There's later. I will not tell you what it is or what to do, but there's one moment where you have a baby and you're told to throw it in the fire, and you have to make that decision in about 3 seconds. I'm not going to tell you anything other than that. And I've heard the different things that you do, depending on a couple different decisions in that sequence you make, can absolutely alter the entire game.
The whole game?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And that's happening constantly throughout.
Yeah.
Like you don't ever know it. They're not those moments where you're like red, blue,
right? Paragon.
No, there's none of that. Or those moments where it's like hit B or X,
right?
And they float above their head. There's none of that. You're just playing the game and you're reacting based on your experiences.
On what would do? I always do like kind of what I or he would do.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, but like. I don't feel like I go, I'm going to be good or I'm going to be bad, like that kind of thing.
That doesn't exist here, I mean, if you tell him that you should, get back together with his family, then your opinion was that maybe they can do it because the Baron isn't the worst dude at the end of the day.
Yeah.
He's a drunkard.
Especially not in that world.
He's an angry drunkard.
Yeah.
He did a terrible thing.
Reminds me a lot of Robert Baratheon. That's what
I
kept calling him in the game.
Absolutely.
I was like, oh, this is Robert Baratheon. Like right after I met him, I was like, oh, okay.
Totally is very similar to that. That's so true. It's so true.
But yeah, I've been playing that when I've been able to play. I play that, and Kevin and I played some more PUBG.
Oh, nice.
On Wednesday, which we
for recording
shouldn't have done. Of course, we recorded it. Shouldn't have done that.
Bad? No chicken dinners?
No, zero. Not only did we get 0 chicken dinners, in the 3 games that I played, I didn't kill anybody. I got fucked up. Kevin did very well in one of his games. He made it to like number 11 or something like that.
That's pretty good.
But the point was, we're supposed to have a system, right? With podcast 1 week, recording of an indie, unknown, not popular, no one knows game. And what we've been doing is just recording ourselves playing the most popular stream game ever. And it just sold 7 million copies. And but we're just having so much fun. Like, we talk about it when we started. We're like, we're supposed to do a podcast, but we didn't. Neither of us were able to watch the movie we were supposed to talk about in the podcast.
Oh, okay.
So we're just like, what if we just played more PUBG? And we're like, why not? Let's do it. And then we jumped in, and like an hour and 40 minutes later, we're like, oh shit. But
that's awesome.
That was a blast. That game's so much goddamn fun. It makes me sad every time I play it, because I know it's not going to live up to its expectations on Xbox. And what I've been telling myself is, if it is as good on Xbox as it is on PC, then that buys me more time before I need a PC.
Right.
Because that's the game I immediately want to play right now. But I know it's not going to be. So I'm in this weird, like, do I really need tires position? Like, I mean, I could just get a PC and just quit my job, work from home, do something. I don't know.
Hell yeah, work from home, dude. There you go.
That's all I've been playing, though. What about you, man?
This week, a lot of Warhammer.
Yeah.
Tim and I are working on a new series.
Nice.
For that, so that's all I'm going to say for that. We'll just release the. But we've been playing that every night.
Greenskins and are you still doing the greens? Oh, it's over. Okay.
Yeah. It's not over putting up, but
okay.
All the recordings are over. So we started a new one that's a lot better.
Really?
I picked a faction I know what the fuck I'm doing with.
Right.
So
that helps. I hear that helps.
So that's helped a lot. It's been extremely close, and there's been a couple of really good battles, and
nice.
It's been a ton of fun.
And you're playing against each other, right?
Yeah, head to head. We don't. You kind of do your own thing when you're in the world and you're just building your empire and stuff. So you're not always constantly at war with each other. But there's definitely gonna come times where we're gonna run into each other eventually.
Nice.
It's gonna be pretty crazy at that time.
Now I don't remember. Are there other factions in that world while you two are there?
Yeah, always.
Are there always
every
all the
campaign
factions?
you play?
Really?
All
Okay,
the
that's
factions,
cool. Yeah, I couldn't remember.
Because then there would be no one to fight.
Yeah, I didn't know if you two just fought each other.
No, because you only every faction gets X amount of starts with 1 or 2 settlements or whatever. So that would be. It would be like you'd be.
It would take forever.
Yeah, it would just be empty and really boring.
Sense. I didn't know if it gave you a smaller map.
No, the whole world, because it's always takes place. It's more think of it like a board game. So you're going to use the same board every time. It doesn't change. So it's basically those factions are still going to be there. So anytime you can pick any one of them, the other ones just do their own thing at that point.
Sounds like a blast.
Yeah, it's great, man. It's a really good game. Well, this isn't really what I'm playing, but speaking of Warhammer, they made some big time announcements this week for Warhammer 2.
Oh, Warhammer 2.
It's coming out, which is coming out next month.
Wow.
So they just announced the Skaven, which is the rat people race.
Right, yeah.
Which look really fucking cool. I can't wait.
Skaven.
Yeah, the
That's
Skaven.
a cool name.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. There was a game that came out a while back. It was kind of like Left 4 Dead, called Vermintide. It was Warhammer Vermintide.
Oh, wow.
It played just like Left 4 Dead, except for instead of zombies, it's the Skaven.
Oh, okay,
and
cool.
You have four people, just like in Left 4 Dead, except for it's a fire mage, like a fire spellcaster. There's I can't remember, an Empire warrior and a dwarf warrior, and then an elf, bow.
Yeah.
So it's similar. You have the different weapons and stuff, and you're trying, and they're just waves of these rat soldiers trying to kill you.
That's cool.
A lot of the same soldiers, like style, the look, and all that are in this game. You have these huge armies of rats that just overwhelm people. They're not like little rats. They're
Jesus Christ.
They're 4 to 5 foot tall.
Oh my god.
Bipedal armor sword.
What the hell?
Yeah.
That's horrifying.
They're really cool. Here, I'll show you a picture while we're.
That's horrifying.
Oh, also, I got a wireless mouse.
You did get a new mouse.
I got a wireless mouse. I was just always tired of always going and getting pulled at the end.
Yeah.
I was getting really sick of that shit. So I'm gonna show him the Skaven real quick. So
Skaven, if you're listening, go ahead and Google along.
Yeah, Skaven Warhammer 2 is what I'm typing in. So basically, there's gonna be a bunch of different kinds. Let me see what we can find here. That's a rat ogre, so he's fucking huge.
Jesus.
And then those are the Skaven guys, right there. So that's the legendary lord you're gonna have.
It's still horrifying.
Oh, they're very horrifying. They like spread disease and stuff. This guy shoots like poison out of a flamethrower style thing, and it's pretty cool. Oh yeah, this guy rides. There's like this thing like they ride this big wheel, wheel of death. You can just ride over infantry.
Jesus Christ.
It just smashes everything in its way. He looks really big. I think he's just flying into the camera, though. That's one of the...
Looks huge, yeah.
It's just the angle. He's, like, jumping toward the camera, so... But, yeah, so the Rat Race, it's the fourth and final race they're going to announce for launch. So, there's, of course, will be more DLC races that come along. But they were the final one. They play a lot differently than like any other faction ever has in any Total War game, so they're totally off the wall. Yeah. So it'll be like brand new for the most seasoned player.
That's cool that they can still make things unique after being around for so long.
Yeah, well, they just figured out. I mean, with these, it gives them more creativity and leeway because it's not based in real history.
Yeah,
and you can have different kinds. I mean, rats are. I mean, there's all kinds of things that you can do, but even with like other human factions, they've managed to make them different. Like when you play Bretonia, they're more like a feudal medieval French society.
Okay,
so there's like the haves and the have-nots basically, and most are have-nots. Right. So your knights are all
douchebags,
nobles. Oh. Right, douchebag. That's absolutely a term. But
full circle. Full circle.
There's right back to the Witcher. Right. So the knights you have like pretty metal knights on their beautiful horses, and they charge into battle.
Right.
And then you have your peasants. So like in the map, the campaign map. So like anytime you recruit peasant soldiers, you have a certain limit that you can have because your peasants also work your farms. Oh. So depending on how many farms you have, you can only have so many peasants away from their harvest.
So you're sharing that number of peasants
like in the beginning it'll be like 12 out of 12. So if you have 13 out of 12, you're going to start losing a little bit of money and a little bit of food.
Yeah.
Because now they're taken away from their work to fight for you. Huh. So you have to balance all that out. And that's just a small, genius way that they can completely change the way a campaign plays. Because now you can't just build an army.
Right.
You're like, fuck, I got to figure out.
I need food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's little things like that. So you can build more farms and then capture more cities and get you a bigger population so you can get more troops. And it's just... that kind of a thing. So there's little things like that for every faction that have changed. They've made things up just to keep it fresh, and they've done a really good job of it.
Nice.
Can't play. Warhammer 2 comes out next month, September 28th.
Wow.
Cannot fucking wait. I took Friday, September 29th off.
Oh, nice. Nice.
So, and then I took that following Monday off because Alyssa got those days off too.
Yeah.
So she's like, Friday, you can just play Warhammer all day.
Hell yeah. And then you guys chill Monday.
And then we're going to like do a little, I don't know, we're going to go like for a hike or some shit.
Cool,
like,
whatever.
Go somewhere, maybe go up north for a day or two.
Hell yeah.
Something like that. Or I'm trying to get my dad to come visit.
That'd be cool.
Weekend, so
hell yeah.
There's that too. So we'll see. But
nice.
But that's what we'll be doing. So can't wait to play the fuck out of that game. It's going to be so awesome.
Yep.
Tim and I will definitely be doing a head-to-head campaign in that as well.
Have to.
So yeah. I started a new game with Alyssa this week. Okay, so it's Resident Evil 7.
Oh, okay, cool.
So Jimmy got me Resident Evil 7
nice.
For my birthday.
Yeah.
I've never been a huge horror game person. But ever since because when I first played Dead Space back in when was that?
2004?
2008.
Eight?
No, yeah, it came out in 2008. 2004 was before the 360.
You're right. It
came out in 2008. So I was like a junior in high school, I believe.
Okay.
So I played that and I couldn't do it.
No, me neither. No, I couldn't. Yeah, we talked about it before. I couldn't finish it. Yeah, I was like
I couldn't even get through the intro.
Yeah,
I had to pause. Like I can't.
Yeah, it's too stressful, dude.
But I wanted to. I loved the look of it. It was so up my alley. That sci-fi alien inspired game, right? It's like Alien mixed with Thing.
Yeah.
Totally what Dead Space is. So I'm so about that. So I kept going back and I kept not being able to do it. And then eventually, it took me like 6 months with my buddy, but we passed because we'd be so scared.
Yeah.
Passed the controller back, scared. And we eventually beat it. And then I was like, it got a lot better as I went on. It didn't, it was always tense and always atmospheric and scary. Yeah. But like, it wasn't that the game got less so, but you were like, okay, I know what I'm doing now. Mm-hmm. So then I've played that game many, many times since then, and all of them that have come out in the first time, I've been scared, but I've been able to handle that. Mm-hmm. So I was like, now that I can play scary games, I want to play Resident Evil 7. It's too scary.
Really?
I can't handle it.
Dude,
I love it. It's a wonderful game.
That's awesome, dude.
So here's what I'm doing. I'm cheating. I'm fucking cheating.
You're watching a Let's Play.
Yes.
Okay, nice.
And then going back and playing.
I like it. I like it. I like it.
Because I love the game.
As long as you're getting through
the voice
game.
acting is atrocious.
You didn't give up, which is it bad?
Really? The writing is atrocious.
Oh, no.
But the gameplay is really good, and the overall like mystery is fantastic.
Yeah.
So like whoever came up with the premise, I am hook, line, and sinker for this. We're watching Markiplier's Let's Play.
Oh, nice.
I love him.
Nice.
So we're watching his Let's Play. I am totally into the storyline.
It's just the moment to moment.
But like the main character is a fucking retard.
Really?
And it makes no sense. Like you go into this house, this horrible house, right? And like the first thing you can do, and this was in the demo and like every video you've ever seen, right in the beginning, you can open up a pot, and it's all gross, and like cockroaches come out, and he goes, oh fuck! He gets all freaked out by that. But earlier, when you're walking through the woods, and there's a kind of like a sort of like this, but smaller, like a trail that has rock and dirt coming up, so it's like a kind of like a trench, like a natural trenchway that's guarded by a huge pattern of dead animal parts put together in a pattern kind of way with buzz saws hanging around it. He doesn't say anything.
Nothing? Not even like a, whoa.
Yeah.
Like, gross.
Nothing. And then he goes through and, like, his wife, who he's there to save, turns into this demon thing and tries to kill him. This is, like, the first 20 minutes.
Jesus.
Tries to kill him, and he's like, what's wrong?
What?
and then he sees these monsters, and he doesn't say a thing.
What?
And then he'll eventually in these boss fights he'll kill these insane guys who are like these not Dead Space but Dark Souls style bosses. Yeah. These disgusting, horrific creatures that he'll kill, and he'll be like, "Now stay dead."
Oh God!
I'm like, "What the?
Oh no,
dude! You should be." And then anytime he gets with another character that might be able to give him answers, he doesn't ask any questions. He's like, "Okay." I'm like, "No, why are you freaking the fuck out?" It just really frustrates us.
Yeah.
It's probably some of the worst protagonist writing I've ever had in a game.
Nice.
But it doesn't matter because the game is brilliant. Like the lighting and the pacing, the sound design, everything is just it's so stressful, dude. It is so fucking stressful, but it's so good. And like I said, the overall premise is very crazy mystery that I'm very into. So I'm kind of going back and forth between playing the game and watching the Let's Play because I just it stresses me out so much to play it. Like if I had some more time, I don't like to sit down and just play it for an hour and a half and be scared of it.
Yeah.
It's like I don't make that much progress, and I feel like I kind of wasted my time. I'd love to be able to like sit down, like maybe with someone else who's also scared of it. Two people who want to play it and like pass the controller off and stay up late and play it. I could probably get through it that way.
Yeah.
Like a buddy and back and forth. Whatever.
How long is the game?
It's a good 12 hours.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it does a good job of. There are times, a lot of these horror games you have to run away from everything, or there's Dead Space where you're always armed and being able to defend yourself. And Resident Evil 7 is right in the middle, so there are times where you're armed to the teeth and you're able to defend yourself against these creatures, and there's other times where you have nothing and you're being chased by this crazy thing, and so it gets you into both styles of horror, which I appreciate that too.
Yeah, that's really cool.
So it's good.
Yeah, so you're not playing in VR, right?
No, I don't have a PS.
Did Jimmy?
VR.
Yeah.
I don't think so. No, he played on PC.
Dude, I wonder what that would be like.
VR, yeah,
It's
I don't.
goddamn terrifying.
I don't know. I can't imagine.
I played that really shitty Until Dawn roller coaster game on VR at my brother-in-law's
Did you play the
house.
actual Until Dawn?
I love that game.
Classic.
Oh, fantastic.
It's amazing.
I played through it with Cassie. It was
cool.
We had a blast.
Yeah,
One afternoon
we loved it.
We didn't go to work and we just fucking played that game. It was a blast, dude.
Yeah.
Everyone died.
Well, it depends on.
Yeah, I mean,
a lot of people can survive.
We killed everybody
On purpose?
Almost. I mean, kind of. Towards the end, we were like, we should kill him. There's a lot of douchey people in
it's
that
supposed
game.
to be.
Yeah, it's like cheesy horror,
it doesn't present itself as anything
teenager
else.
at a campsite kind of thing.
Sure.
But yeah, they made that weird on track roller coaster shooting game for Until Dawn for VR. That was scary as hell.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah, totally. Anything in VR is scary. And that was my first time ever playing a VR
I've never
game.
played VR.
Yeah, that was my first time. I mean, since an arcade for playing. Do you remember the game Beachhead? Where you put the giant helmet on you, just mow fucking Vietnamese people down. It's my first actual VR experience Really throws off your depth perception. Crazy feeling. And it's not even like good VR. Like you're still using a controller. You just point the controller and fire it like two guns. That's it though. Your guns always stay together because it's a controller.
Yeah. No.
So it's really not even good VR, and it was still really scary. So I wonder what like Resident Evil 7 would feel like in VR. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Terrifying, right?
Oh, my God. I mean, you still have a controller, same thing there.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do it. I don't know. Yeah, it's horrifying. So, yeah, I've been doing that. Trying to think of anything else. I have not gotten to touch Hellblade.
No?
It sucks. I really want to play it.
Yeah.
But I just don't want to, like I said, I get home, it's really fucking hot in here.
Yeah.
And I don't turn the AC on until after 6, and then Alyssa's home.
By then you get food.
Yep. And I don't want to sit down for 20 minutes and play that game.
No.
You can, but it's not. I don't have to basically relearn how to play the damn thing.
Yeah, right.
It's been like a week since I played it.
Right, yeah.
I'm hoping to have it beat, hopefully, maybe by next podcast.
Yeah.
I want to do a review for it.
Yeah.
I finished my Mass Effect review a long time ago, too. I just need to do editing.
Yeah, we talked about that last
It's been done for like a week
Monday
and a half
or something,
now,
like when we finished Game of Thrones.
It's been done. It's not been done. The recording is done, but I need to like go get game footage and edit it all.
A lot of work to do.
It's been one of those weeks where I get home and I just barely even want to pick up a remote.
Yeah, man, you're not
let alone do anything else.
Held liable to do any of that shit.
I feel like I am.
You're not.
I'm held liable by myself. Maybe not by you guys.
Enjoy yourself.
But it stresses me out. Think about it. I gotta get that shit done. So, yeah, man, that's pretty much all I've been playing.
Pretty slow week as far as news goes. We touched on that before we started recording.
I did have a topic I was curious to get your opinion on it. I certainly have an opinion on it already. Of course. But before I even go into mine, like I just want your...
I don't know how I would feel if you were just like, yeah, whatever. About anything. I'd be like, are you okay?
Yeah, whatever else.
Ian.
There's something.
Ian. Gaming stuff? Stuff?
Gaming-wise?
Ian.
There are games where I might not
if you were like Tim and you're just like, yeah, whatever. Are you okay?
I know there's a game out there
is he okay?
Like I'd be like that with some game.
Yeah, maybe.
There's definitely games out there where I felt that way.
Maybe.
Yeah,
it's whatever.
Yeah.
Is he alright? Did someone die?
I mean, he should be like burying this game.
He should be upset or really happy. Something, right?
Well,
fix him.
I mean, Resident Evil is like, I'm not like singing its absolute praises. I have plenty of like, I don't feel like I don't feel like I love it or hate it generally.
Like Mass Effect.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, I'm more than willing. I pointed out problems I had with Witcher. I didn't give Witcher a 10.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone probably thinks that I did based on the way they talk about it, but I didn't.
Right. Well, it's 2 years later, and I still am enjoying the shit out of that game. And I think even I think it was GameSpot did a video like why Witcher is even better the second time. I think it was really? GameSpot. I haven't watched it yet, but I want to go in there and watch
I'd like to see that because I haven't done it a second time yet.
Yeah.
Because it's just such a big thing. I'm like, all right, I'll have to get ready for this. And
totally. I didn't mean to take you off track. What's the topic?
No, totally. You're not. So there are 2 games.
2 games.
Both of which, at the start of the year, I was planning on buying day one.
Okay, can I guess?
You can.
Finish what you're going to say.
Okay. Both of them since then, we've seen footage of and all that. Both of them have introduced microtransactions.
Yep.
Both of them... I was planning on getting both of them day one, and now I'm only planning on getting one of those.
We haven't really talked about that. Yeah. Okay, can I guess?
Yeah.
I know one of them is Shadow of War.
Right.
Did Call of Duty introduce microtransactions?
No, I'm not. I'm going to hold off on Call of Duty for a while.
But I know maybe you had planned to at one point.
There was a point where I first saw that trailer, I was pumped because it was World War II and it's historical. But I've seen some more gameplay footage. It just still looks like Call of Duty to me.
It's not Battlefront.
It is.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, we talked about this before.
Yeah, but I still figured you were planning on buying.
I am. I said I'm still planning on buying one of them day one.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right.
Not the other.
Yeah.
So I'm still planning on getting Star Wars day one.
Right.
I'm no longer going to get Shadow.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, this is hard. Okay, so my first question is why? And is it because you just like Star Wars more than Lord of the Rings? And you feel like they're staying true to their source material?
I feel like Star Wars and Lord of the Rings for me are...
Like right there, right?
Probably pretty much
really
equal.
Close. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I figured that.
There's really not... Like, Star Wars is probably a little bit more, emotionally meaningful to me because it's more childhood-based. So you have that, like, growing up and it's tied in with family. And
the warm feeling.
It's a different kind.
Totally.
But to me, I look at Lord of the Rings as the creation of all high fantasy.
Totally.
And, like, one of the great works.
Oh,
I mean, it's sold second next to the Bible for a reason. You know what I mean? Like,
is that true?
Yes. Lord of the Rings has
Amazing.
sold as second only to the Bible.
That is amazing.
Yeah, I got that from the like behind it. They're called, so in the back of the books there's called the appendices, which like because sometimes he'll mention things that he doesn't go into because it's such a huge world with all this history upon history upon history that he can't sit there. He's not going to tell the reader everything. Yeah. So he'll mention things, and there'll be little like dots next to it, and you can go into the appendices if you want at the end of the third book, and like, oh, he explains a lot of stuff that he may have just, if Lord of the Rings is the first book you're reading of his.
Yeah.
So that's what the appendices are. So for the extended editions of the films, Peter Jackson brought in another film crew, a documentary film crew, to document the making of these movies. Mm-hmm. And they are just as good as the actual movies. Really? They're amazing. They're not, awesome. And I've always liked behind the scenes stuff, but this is beyond like, oh, quick look behind the scenes. I mean, you get to know those people as if they were characters, man. And it's really, really good. It makes me super emotional to watch it because they use the music and all that. Oh god, it's fantastic. And they mentioned in the beginning, like the way they do it, like they'll talk about Tolkien in the book and the story first, and then they'll start getting into the movie being made. And they said that it's the second most sold book next to the Bible.
That's nuts, man.
Yeah, it's a foundational story. It's like King Arthur. I mean, that's what I mean. It's going to go down. It's going to be like that forever. It's a part of our culture and our identity. It's like Star Wars, Lord of the Rings. I couldn't really pick one for you.
Yeah, I figured that, and so that brings me back to my question: why definitely Battlefront, but not Shadow of War?
Well. So I also wanted to get your take on these microtransactions because they're equally disgusting,
right,
to me, for Battlefront and for Shadow of War. WB has been probably the worst offender of nasty, just grubby behavior. Mm-hmm. They did a lot of crap with the Batman games. I don't know if you remember all the controversies that came out with that. Like they had all these 16 different pre-order versions and just
really I don't remember that,
and all this DLC that was just crap, and like it was just, and then the PC version was absolutely broken of Arkham, and they never fixed it.
Really? I remember
there was a patch, but it was like it still wasn't that good, and they were like, we got our cash, we're done. And WB you could buy for Mortal Kombat. And WB has amazing games, too, which pisses me off.
Right.
You can go and buy fatalities. Easy fatalities. They sell them to you for $4.99 or whatever. They're gross, dude. Like they're worse than Activision, EA, Ubisoft. They're the worst of any of the publishers, by far. And the microtransactions in this are, man, they're bad.
Really?
Yeah, they're really bad.
They
even Shadow of War. They openly said that it allows you to buy yourself through progress of the game. They're like, you can make up time,
right?
And so basically, by purchasing these things, you can get better gear that will allow you to skip content in the game to get further.
Yeah, I heard someone refer to it as kind of like a fat trimmer you could buy, where in other games you would have to grind, and work to get things, to get places, and you can kind of buy out of that. Well, in this game,
and Shadow of Mordor had some grindiness to it, but it wasn't to the point where it was. For me, I always had fun. That was one of the few games I did. Like, I got 100% completion in that game.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it wasn't like
it's not Witcher, huge, but no, I mean, it's still to do that in a game. 45
hours or something like that. I played it. Yeah. I loved that game. I thought they did a good job with the lore and stuff. But yeah, like when I hear that you're gonna do microtransactions, like what do you first? Before I go, I don't want to talk about mine first. Like, what do you feel about that? Like,
so and as you know, and anybody knows, even the word microtransaction automatically has like a bad connotation to it. Like you just get a bad like taste in your mouth. And everyone goes, and I agree that in this kind of game and for the purpose that they're doing
single player only.
Yeah, it doesn't. I don't get it, and obviously there's a part of you that goes, a part of me anyway that goes, okay, whatever. If the people are dumb enough to do it, just let them buy it. But now you're getting into the territory of they're buying it and they're finishing the game faster and they're not putting the work in, which shouldn't be any of my business, but it bothers me anyway.
Yeah.
And I just feel like that's inching us closer to that's going to be in multiplayer now. And if you,
well, it already is. It already is multiplayer first.
Yeah, but it's
getting into our single player
like
games
more
now.
prevalent now. And and I don't know. It's hard to say because I like to believe there's two arguments to everything, but I just can't. I don't know where this benefits anybody except for the people cashing in on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
If you're paying to finish this game faster, you probably shouldn't play it, or you should just wait till you have time.
And you can shoot down the normal defendable arguments here. PR for WB already came out and they said, well, you can still get everything by playing the game. The question that I have, and I'm kind of stealing this point, I mean, it was something I was already thinking of, but it was made solidified. I watched Jim Sterling's take on this. Yeah. Really good. I like him a lot. I mean, he can be very crass. He can offend some people. I get that. If you don't like him because he's very crass, I totally get that. That's fine. But he does make good points. Why is my computer not come back on? My computer went to sleep.
It was a repeat of last week.
It's because of my mouse goes to sleep. Because it's wireless to save battery. Yeah. So it just takes a little longer. So I get if you don't like him, but you can't. He makes great points. He's a great writer, and he makes really good points. And what he was saying what I already was thinking is that if you're making microtransactions that allow you to skip past what can be considered parts of the grind, my thoughts on that are your grind. It shouldn't be a grind. It should be fun. Mm-hmm. So WB is telling the consumer it's actually not really worth your time. It's not that good.
Yeah. Like
so
we made
just
these
pay us
parts.
Right.
Yeah.
It's almost as if now we can't know that they didn't do that, but who's to say they didn't add shit filler now to extend the amount of time that it would take for you to get these things you can just purchase?
Like, hey, you have to kill 400 orcs to move on to the next stage.
Yeah, and even if that's not there, WB, that's still their message.
Right.
If they're openly telling you, I watched a commercial, they said, you can now make further progress in the game quicker. And they were like saying like that was like a good thing.
Just play the game.
So apparently they're thinking that their game, that their developer worked their fucking ass off to make, is actually not that good in spots.
Right.
So just pay us and we'll get you through that shit. Don't worry about it. And that's disheartening as fuck, man.
Yeah. Do you think because there's been huge backlash for this, not even just from us, I mean from Jim Sterling and I would say major games.
We should watch that before
corporation.
You go.
Oh yeah,
it's really good.
I'm a big fan of his too. But do you think the backlash changes anything as far as WB being kind of known for their fatty content, if you will, for lack of better words, fat that they're letting you pay them to trim? Do you think that'll go away? Or
I don't know.
We'll keep seeing shitty DLC.
That's just up to us. We have all the power.
Right.
Which is part of the reason I'm not buying the game. Mm-hmm. Now you could buy the game and not touch the microtransactions, and I get that, but I'm not going to do that because I feel that on top of that, a lot of the stuff I've been seeing is it's just not really Tolkien anymore, to be honest. So that's the other thing. Yeah. Because I'm going to buy Battlefront, which might be a little hypocritical since I'm saying I'm not going to buy Shadow of War for the same reason. But with Shadow of War, I am also getting a little turned off with their story directions.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's fair.
Like, totally one of the things that they revealed recently was that... You remember Shelob? Giant spider?
Yep.
So Shelob, like, in the books and the movies and everything, like, she's intelligent. It's not just like a big monster, like an animal. It's an ancient creature that is sentient, can think and reason, and she's just evil. She lives among the corruption, and she resists it. She's her own thing. Like she kills orcs and everything, and she lives in there, and she is this ancient being, and she's a spider. Like that. Shelob is a spider. Just as much as Aragorn is a human or a ranger,
right?
Dunedain. And in the game, she's now a sexy half-naked woman. Who's all lusty and is talking to you.
Is she not a spider anymore?
No, she's got a spider crawling on her arm now.
Like she only has two legs?
She transforms into this like really rote fantasy lady who's wearing a strappy black dress that barely covers her, And I don't care, even if she's covered. I'm not trying to get into the sexist thing. I'm just saying she looks like a very typical like fantasy dark witch lady that you've seen 100,000 times before. And she like makes a deal with Talion and stuff, and they like work together. And it's just like, for a lot of people hearing this and be like, dude, who cares? And that's fine. Like, if you don't care, that's totally cool. Go play the game.
Yeah, totally.
That bothers me. Like, totally. The first game took took plenty of liberties with Tolkien's work. I'm okay with the movies. Took a bunch of liberties with the work. Like, it's not like I'm like a protector. I just feel like
the scrolls.
But there is a time where you get things right, or you don't have a choice. Mm-hmm. You know, there were things that were cut out of the movies. They would just, look, they're already 3 hours long. We can't add all this.
Right.
They would take lines.
Which is fair.
They would take lines from characters who we didn't see and give them to another character. Like, you know what I mean? So you're making changes to service the overall feel and theme and tone of Tolkien.
Okay.
Like, that's what Lord of the Rings did. A lot of changes, a bunch of stuff they got wrong, things they changed from the book, things they cut from the book, all kinds of stuff that maybe offended someone. But I feel like the end, when Lord of the Rings, Return of the King credits go up, I feel like they got the feeling. Like, when I finished reading the books, I felt the same way.
Right.
And that's fine. And the same thing with Shadow of Mordor. They did a good job of, like, they added their own twists. You know, the orcs got a lot more complex with their whole hierarchy, and they challenge each other, and, like, the different groups will follow other groups, and they have hunts, and they have they added all this cool stuff. That wasn't in the books, but it added a whole nother layer that was creative and just added in. When you watch the movies now, you know that they have all this going on. And it's cool. But now we're going in, and they're just, like, basically saying, well, no one wants to talk to a big spider, so just make her a hot babe. You know what I mean? It's this lazy writing, in my opinion. Really lazy storytelling.
Yeah.
Uninteresting. And now they're just getting further and further. Every time I see it, he's got Talion's got a ring of power of his own, and I don't know. It's just and there's these like huge, massive fucking battles. Taking place in Mordor that apparently no one else ever noticed. Right. You know what I mean? It gets to the point where it's like, okay, this is no longer a prequel. I think they're just doing their own thing now.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Go ahead and do it. It's just, for me personally, that kind of turns me off. Because they started Shadow of Mordor saying, hey, this fits in between The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. And that was their, like, thing. They were like, we're creating this kind of bridge story that's really interesting. And now it looks like they're like, actually, we're just going to do whatever the fuck we want because we have a budget now. And
we're going to mix Batman with Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I mean, now it's just so over the top.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're really looking at Tolkien's, like, books anymore. I think they're just sort of like, yeah, fuck it.
That's unfortunate, because you would think they'd be held to some kind of standard, right, by, like, the source material. But,
I mean, to a point.
I mean, they put the names in there.
And the names are in there, and they're. Maybe it'll be great. I could be dead fucking wrong about this.
Totally.
And maybe it'll get 9s, and maybe like people who are into Tolkien, like maybe if Tim plays it, I'll ask. You know, he knows more about Lord of the Rings and Tolkien's writing than I do. So I'll ask him about it if he thinks it's good. But you know, if I've always been bothered by stuff like that.
I'm interested to see how well it does, or how not. Well,
and those microtransactions are disgusting, man. I'm sorry. They're really, really bad. You can buy, like, orcs and have them placed into the game for you so you don't have to, like, go get the warlords and stuff. It's crazy.
What?
It's crazy. Whereas with Battlefront, what I'm seeing, it is microtransactions. There's the reasons I'm okay is not really the word. The reason I'll accept them is because they're kind of like the chess from Battlefront or Battlefield, Battlefield 1 or whatever. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Sorry, I got my
it's been a while.
fart.
You're good. It's been a while.
Battlefield 1. Those didn't really bother me.
I feel like because
I never felt pressure to buy them.
Because in Battlefield 1, when you would get a crate, like it never felt like, oh, I'm gonna win all the time now. You know what I mean? Like nothing ever felt overpowered. I don't know.
They were just like paints.
Yeah, just stuff.
It wasn't really anything. And plus, they're giving us all the DLC for free. So, to me, it's like, okay, we're giving and taking here. So, they're going to put their little microtransaction crates and shit, but they're not going to charge me $15 for every fucking map that comes out.
Right.
All right. fine. I probably won't partake in your microtransactions.
Right.
But you're giving me free DLC, and you're not allowing me... I don't think... Now, remember, there were some things that we were worried about with Battlefront. Remember, we were watching it, and we were like, oh, there's a little bit of a pay-to-win in there.
Yeah.
That's something we need to be watching for.
Kind of like a leveling up aspect. And it's been a while, I apologize, I don't really remember. But you could upgrade like your speed, and like if you had a radial ability... you could upgrade like the distance of the radius of that ability.
That's
and you
right.
could pay for that stuff. And that's when we were like,
ooh, yeah, so that is a little scary.
But the guy in the video was quick to be like, well, they're not huge modifications, but...
Still, any kind of modification is scary.
In a technically competitive multiplayer game, I feel like...
God, maybe I should...
Anything could make the difference. You know what I mean?
I almost don't want to buy it for that reason, too, right there.
It's hard, man.
Because it's just
it's
nasty
hard
shit.
Because
man.
I think it's going to be a really great game. But
I think they're both going to be good games.
I just hate that word microtransaction is going to leave this weird dirty trail behind the games.
Yeah.
That we're just going to remember. When I think of Shadow of War recently, all I think of is like, oh, this hate machine of microtransactions.
It's deserved though.
Totally. But
and WB has a bad reputation already.
Right, and like you said, they have such great games.
They have a great
really
stable of fucking games.
But when I think of the third Arkham game, that's all I think about is the garbage port they released on PC.
And never fixed.
It never
and
fixed.
all of the DLC that they had with all the different season passes and like all the pre-order. It was just like, God, the game was broken when you released it. And you have all this pre-order shit, and you didn't even... Oh, man.
All this other content ready to go, but your main product...
And now they're saying, basically, just cut a bunch of time... Just cut chunks out of the single-player game that our guys worked hard to make.
It's so weird, because I just know it's because we're not those types of gamers who would be like, man, you know what would make this game great? If I didn't have to play half of it. And then we just buy it. And you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to buy these great partners, these great warlords to back me up. And I don't know. I would rather earn those things, like, But I don't know. There's different kinds of gamers.
Even if you wouldn't rather earn them, I mean, there's ways around. Like some games will give you quests or whatever that that allow you to maybe you don't have to do combat in this quest line. You know, there's been things like that. If you go through and you do a few extra things, you can just avoid the whole section. I've done things like that, but gamers like that generally, I feel like they don't. I feel like WB is trying to get to people who wouldn't normally play this game, and maybe that's their thing. I feel like most people that I know that are interested, Kevin, myself, Tim, you, all of us, our whole group generally would probably be somewhat interested in playing Shadow of War.
Yeah.
And none of us would look for... None of us are that. I feel like most people who play who would want to play that game would do that.
Right.
So is this them reaching out to... What? So, like, fucking Candy Crush players? Like,
I don't know.
Who are you targeting
if
here?
they're trying to dangle the temptation in front of us, quote-unquote us being the people who...
Have us play the game, and then eventually we're like, oh, here it is.
All it did was make you not want to buy it.
I'm not going to buy it.
Make me, further consider not buying it, because I never really was dead set on getting it anyway, but this is just like... but now it just has this weird taste in my mouth every time I think about it, and for people like us, it's not like, oh, you know what... Like I just said, like, oh, man, I wish I could just skip all this, but, like, I've never... If I've thought that in a game, I chalked it up to, well, maybe this game's not for me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like you said, with grinding, it should be fun. If you're in a grindy game...
There should be no grind.
You know what I mean? Like in Diablo, you grind, but you love
But it's fun. It's not... I don't consider... and people who love Destiny don't consider that grinding.
No,
I did, because I wasn't having fun.
They call that Destiny.
Yeah.
You just grind.
That's
what the game is. It's a loot grind.
Yeah.
That's what the game is. A giant fucking meat... You're just grinding out loot the whole time. Which is probably what we're going to get with... God, what is that game even called? I don't even remember. The biggest showing at E3, where they jumped off the thing and fly around. Anthem, thank you. Which is what we're worried Anthem is going to turn into.
Yeah.
And a kind of Destiny.
Just another Destiny kind of clone, or like Division.
Have you heard anything about that game recently?
Division?
Anthem.
No, kind
of went in the dark, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, they're going to do that. It's not coming out till next year.
Yeah, but is anyone talking about it? No one that I know is talking about it.
Yeah,
we don't even talk about it.
No.
We talk about games.
Yeah. No, we haven't talked about it at all. I don't know anything about it.
Yeah. Is that a good thing?
I feel like BioWare is a good company. I know that they're owned by EA, but that's the thing, too, is that a lot of these bullshit things happen with these publishers, and then everyone's trying to blame the devs. Like,
yeah.
Don't blame the devs.
EA's in the background.
They have no fucking control over it.
Cashing in, man.
I can't. I'm terrible. I can't think of the dev team's name for. or Shadow of War. Starts with an M. I can't think of what it's called right now. I know they're located in Seattle.
It's not Machine. That's Wolfenstein.
No, that's Wolfenstein. Yeah. So I'm just like they don't. Someone told them you're going to have this in your game.
Yeah.
I bet a lot of them were not really happy about
some faceless email somewhere higher up.
And one of the things that Jim Sterling said that was so funny is like, look at this fucking people. These fucking people don't even try to hide it. When you go to the marketplace, there's a nasty, greedy orc going like this with his hands. Like they're not even trying to like. He even knows what he's there for, to steal your money. It was pretty bad, man. It's definitely it's always been a problem, but I feel like it just gets worse, man. It's just getting worse and worse and worse. A monolith. I knew it started with a
monolith. Okay.
Monolith. I guarantee you that if any of them had anything to do with it, it would be like 2 people at the very top, and that was it.
Yeah. Who are probably just basically EA reps. You know what I mean?
WB.
Or I'm sorry, WB just kind of overwatching the way, making sure everything goes smoothly.
There's actually, it's funny, as I think I clicked on an article. I've seen an article right here. Monolith Productions explains why Shelob is a woman and not a spider.
Oh wow, nice. Let's hear the explanation.
Based within lore. There's no fucking lore for that. I'm just going to tell you right now. I looked it up
Tim on
and
the board.
I read it. No, I asked Tim and I went through and I read a lot of stuff. She is a spider.
Yeah.
She's never been a human.
Through and through.
I've already seen this. They're saying because she's so ancient and godlike that she would have the ability to do that. Like, okay, fine, but that's not...
But why didn't
you're
you know
missing
before?
the point.
Yeah.
You know, you're
weird.
just missing the point of this whole thing. And like I said, a lot of people won't care about that.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people will not give a fuck about that at all. To me, it's just disrespectful to the story.
People listening are probably like, oh, but what about Witcher? They're all fucking gorgeous too. And I feel like you kind of touched on that before, though, as to why.
That is in the books.
Right. No, that's what I was going to
like,
say. That
directly.
Is the source material. Like,
they are all ugly, nasty, deformed women.
They're gorgeous.
Who are very powerful. It's like they're like connected because they're so nasty.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's a lot of destiny in the Witcher books.
Mm-hmm.
With Ciri and Geralt and Geralt and Yen, and I'm like, is chance or is it fate? And there's all this kind of like Geralt doesn't believe in fate, and it's a big kind of theme throughout all the books. I've read 2 books so far, and it's like central through the whole thing. Is like he always just like the most coincidental shit always happens, always for him. And he's like, no, I don't believe it.
Just kind of an agnostic, kind of pessimistic.
He's like, everyone's like, dude, it's your destiny. I'm like, I don't believe in destiny.
No, fuck destiny.
He's like that. But then every single time the shit happens and it ends up the way he was like, and he's like, fuck. And he thinks it is destiny. Sometimes he doubts himself because like all this stuff keeps happening.
Yeah, we talked about it before. Like you mentioned, Geralt has more human characteristics than he should.
You
know what I mean? Like he falls in love,
or at least than what people say Witchers have.
Right. Okay. Right.
You know what I mean? Because like that's the thing too is like how much of this is history in the world. Mm-hmm. How many of them are actually emotionless, and how much of that is just legend and reputation that's been built up over time that people just believe. Because there's no evidence.
Uncle Vesemir, he's a Witcher, right? And he's hilarious. Yeah. He's a funny guy. He's just an old grumpy dude. He's Bobby from Supernatural.
There's still people.
Right. Totally.
You know what I mean? It's like they're different for sure, and they're older, and a lot of them are definitely like cynical because so many people hate them because they're basically in there with elves and dwarves.
Yeah.
You know. So it's just an interesting thought. But yeah, all those sorcerers are drop dead gorgeous because they're all drop dead ugly.
Yeah.
And they have made themselves that way, which is why a lot of them are extremely insecure, and because they look in the mirror and they still see their humpback or their nasty moles or whatever that they have. They know that they really have. It's an interesting character.
Dude,
it's really interesting.
A lot of people probably don't know that.
Take these ugly girls and make them absolutely drop dead gorgeous, and they're also fucking brilliant. You know what I mean? So they're all these like. It's an interesting thought.
Yeah, dude, we killed an hour. Did you believe that was an hour?
No, I didn't know we were at an hour. I thought we were like 20 minutes.
Ridiculous.
Good podcast.
Great podcast. And the best ones, we never know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
We're like,
I knew I wanted to talk about the microtransaction stuff. Dude, I had that plan coming in.
Come like 3:50, I'm like, I haven't heard from Ian. Like, are we doing this?
Like, we're always
is there news? What are we doing?
I didn't see your text. It was really busy today.
Yeah, when I was driving home, And I was like, if I get home and he doesn't text me, I'm just going to call it a no. If he texts me, I'll turn around and just go to his place. That's what, and I did that, and I got here, and you were like, oh, you got here really quick. And I was like, I went longer than I usually do. Like,
no, it wasn't even 5 o'clock when you got here. You usually get here between 5 and now.
Yeah, well, usually I go home and poop. I didn't do that this time. That's fair.
So you're probably, I'm surprised you haven't been like, oh, I gotta go.
I'm like, oh, and I gotta go.
I gotta go.
Pause the podcast. I'll be back in an hour.
Cool. You want to watch those Jim Sterling things real quick?
Let's do it, yeah.
All right, cool. Because I got some time. I'm doing a fantasy draft tonight.
Nice.
Nice. And some of the people in
the
boys.
Group,
some of them. A lot of them can't make
Jimmy's not a big football guy, right?
He's not, but he plays it anyway.
Oh, okay, cool. Cool.
He kind of knows like the players.
I don't know shit.
He knows like the big players, probably the same players that you do.
Dude,
like Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, okay, I know who those people are.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, that's fair.
That's big names that you can.
I probably should have participated then, but my thinking was like
we don't have there's like it's like $5.
Yeah,
it's like we're not. It's more for fun. I don't really care for fantasy football. I play one at the office, and I play the one with my friends. I don't really do money generally. I'll do $5.
Okay.
I don't really care about it. I'm more about the team, so I'm like all into my team and all into like stats and all that shit. Whereas like fantasy is just like very casual for me. Some people care more about fantasy than they do the actual.
Some people do it for a living.
Yeah.
Could you imagine the stress?
I can't. No, I couldn't do it. I don't, and I don't like, dude. I forget all the time. Oh fuck. Oh, like, oh well.
Oh, didn't do it. There's my month's rent. So like, I didn't do it.
Exactly. So I'm like that. I'm not really into it. So,
cool,
but it's fun. You know, it's fun to do. So whoever can make it is getting together. Tim's coming over. We're carpooling down there.
Nice.
So we're going downtown to a restaurant.
Oh, that's where you're going.
Yeah.
Cool.
Do you know? Have you met Taylor's friend Paul?
Guy with the pretty eyes.
I think so.
Yep.
Black hair, tall,
yep.
skinny.
Yeah, I think so.
Really, really, really friendly. Like overly friendly. Like, whoa, dude, you're really awesome.
You're like the best person ever.
He's a really amazing guy.
I did. I played him in Mortal Kombat at your.
Oh, Injustice. Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, Injustice. Yeah.
Yeah. So he works at a place downtown, and he told us we could all go.
Oh, that's badass.
So, yeah.
Hell yeah.
So.
Cool.
All right, guys. Well, I hope you have a great rest of your week. I'm so sorry that it's Tuesday evening.
Oh, God. Hopefully Game of Thrones is good. We know it's going to be.
I'm sure it was good.
Did you watch the leak
episode?
episode?
There's only one left, huh?
You didn't watch the leak, right?
No.
Oh, thank God. Okay.
I always wait for Sunday.
I didn't either. Jeff was asking me if I did.
Because if I watch it, then I can't talk about it. You know?
Yeah.
I'd rather not know than know and not be able to say anything.
Totally.
So we will see you guys next Tuesday.
All right.
And I hope you have a good rest of the week.
Don't kill yourself. Later.
We need to do this hotline.
Hotline. Suicide. Call 911 if you don't have the fucking suicide hotline number.
No, because
pull it up for the people.
If you're talking to someone who's seriously considering...
They know I'm joking. I would never condone such a thing. We're pulling up the number for you people right now.
I really doubt there's anyone in here. But the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline is 1-800-273-8255.
If you need help, call them. Don't be dumb.
Please do.
Have a good week.
Okay.
Go play some games.
Bye, guys.
Later.